i24NEWS spoke with Rodion Miroshnik, a foreign policy advisor to the head of the now newly independent, at least according to Russia, People's Republic of Luhansk. He's also a member of the contact group for the settlement of the conflict in Donbass. We asked Miroshnik, who spoke to us from Moscow, how President Putin's decision to recognize the independence of the Ukraine regions of Luhansk and Donetsk have been received by their local populations.
The
decision of our recognition by the Russian Federation is seen as a rescue action, as a helping hand at this extremely critical moment when the 4 million people of the national republics of Donetsk and Luhansk are in danger. It is a timely decision because we have reached a deadlock in negotiations. Ukraine is doing its best not to continue negotiations with us as part of the conflict, and it's not willing to move to a diplomatic track. It has intensified the military danger by sending 150,000 to the front line. We've been seeing continuous shelling and fighting along the front line for 4 days now.
Now, according to reports in Western and Ukrainian media, the shelling in the Donbass regions was staged by Russian separatists there in order to provoke a Russian invasion and occupation of eastern Ukraine. But Mishnikov called these reports fantasies.
These are fantasies spread by the Ukrainians to the international community. And they are making contradictory statements. On the one hand, they tell the international community they are ready to solve the conflict diplomatically. On the other hand, they are waging war to destroy the republics. So it does not make sense to state that we are staging it. Every day we detect around 1,500 shells, mines, grenades, and that doesn't include heavy machine guns. Today we are seeing severe fighting and shelling along the front lines. Statements about this being staged can only come from individuals with an overactive imagination. Unfortunately, there are some in the Ukrainian regime.
And will President Putin's recognition of parts of Ukraine as independent republics, a lie to Russia, lead to even more fighting and possibly a further Russian invasion of Ukraine? Well, Mishnikov did not rule out that possibility.
Unfortunately, the possibility of a Ukrainian invasion still exists. The danger is extremely high. I strongly believe the Ukrainian authorities have not lost their minds, and they will be able to understand that the balance of power has changed, and they will not issue commands to attack us, as it will lead to a lot of casualties and bloodshed. I think they have not lost their minds yet. Their actions may lead to irreparable consequences. The republics will be protected. The situation has drastically changed for Ukraine. They should review their approach and drop their plans for revenge.
And finally, we asked Mr. Miroshnik if Luhansk, now as an independent republic, would be open to diplomatic relations with Israel.
We are expecting to go to a new level now. And of course, we are interested in expanding our contacts. Our priority would be establishing economic and political relations with Israel, at least because we are on the same side, called anti-fascism. Both Israel and Luhansk people are interested in fighting neo-fascism, so we have a lot in common. Let's also not forget that a lot of our citizens live in Israel. In the presence of political will from both sides, we could have such a relationship.
Thank you very much.